All right, everyone. So it's not often we get to talk about a major refereeing mistake in the NFL that actually didn't lead to the team losing. Usually, when there's one of these big plays we're talking about, it's because a team lost. But in this case, it's not that. So we're reading here from Pro Football Talk. Alex Kemp explains officiating error on the Jarrett Stidham fumble. So just to kind of give some, before we read, just to give some background, this is on the fumble. Stidham, he tried to do almost like a chest pass at basketball. The ball ends up going behind. It's a backwards pass. That ends up being a fumble. The Patriots defender picks it up and runs it into the end zone, but the ref said they called the play dead. So therefore, in most cases, you see the ref allow it to continue just because they're like, listen, if we don't let this continue, you know, and they score and it actually was a fumble, we're taking points away. In this case, they actually shut it down. When it turned out to be a fumble and it should have been a touchdown, and obviously wasn't, the Patriots did end up scoring on that drive. But that's a big deal, right? And in a game like that, especially, it could have been a disaster. Imagine if they only gotten a field goal, lost by one, that would have been pretty bad. So here's the transcript. So the question: what were the dynamics of the second quarter ruling that changed the call from an incomplete pass to a backward pass recovered by New England? Kemp: I initially ruled it as a forward pass, which was incorrect. I proceeded to go through the administration of an intentional grounding foul. The down judge and the umpire came and talked to me and provided me more information. The down judge explained that he extended his right arm to signal that he had a backwards pass, and at that point we determined that New England had picked up the ball and then backwards pass. We awarded possession to New England with no advance because at that point we were not allowed to permit in advance. Question: was there an inadvertent whistle? Kemp: the whistle stopped the play, but it was after the New England player picked up the ball. They got it right after they got it wrong, but the play appeared to have kept going, and the Patriots should have had a touchdown. The safe approach is to let it keep going because replay is available to turn the mistaken ruling of a backward pass into an incompletion. So yeah, obviously that should have been the case. There's no question about it. Thank God this didn't impact the game. I mean, that would have been just the, that would have just been the absolute worst. I'm trying to pause this, but we can't. That would have just been the absolute worst if that had been the deciding factor. I will say it was shocking to me that watching it live, it didn't feel like it was a backward pass. I thought it would, if it was a fumble, it was because the ball was legitimately fumbled by him. But obviously on second look, you can. I don't even know how the refs are able to really see that. Maybe it's because their angle is so good, but it's so tough for me to judge. Like, you're like really going up to the screen, you're fixing your glasses, you're like, wait a minute, that was backwards. It's like so close, right? And where does he actually release the ball? But that was the play that really changed the game, and it could have changed the game the other way as well, right? Like I said, if they get a field goal on that, it could have been a whole different situation. If they get a field goal on that, now that we know what the final score was, it really could have changed everything. So I think, this is just a good learning moment. These are the type of missed calls we like because this is a learning moment, right? It didn't actually end up impacting the game in any meaningful way thank God. And now all these refs are going to have this in the back of their head to say, yeah, we have to make sure we allow these plays to continue because, yeah, if you don't, you might end up getting screwed on a touchdown like that. And in a big game, that's huge, right? That's huge. Obviously, for Broncos fans and for Stidham, this was a disaster because this was really where the game shifted. It was just one of those things. You take the sack. You don't have to do that. And if you do that, we might be having a different conversation about this game in general. But, man, kudos to I will say this about these refs. We've been critical. We've done some videos criticizing it. But I feel like we need more of this, right? Get these refs out in front of the cameras. Get these refs interviewing, after these games. Just have them tell us what they saw, the reasons they made, and be honest about it. And I think people, will find a way to get over it because it's nice to have the explanation, right? He explains, hey, I saw one thing, right? So now we know when we're deciding, how did the ref make that call? Well, okay. So the ref, from his angle, he couldn't tell, right? And it's just what I was talking about, how hard it is to see these backwards passes. If you're looking at it from a certain angle, it's tough to see where he is and where the ball lands, right? In terms of like that, it's almost like an optical illusion. Whereas another ref, that ref may easily be able to see it. So, and we get that explained to us here. So I think that's good. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.